Hey, so for those of you that don't know me, my name is Stephanie, and I do a thing that I call the Sunshine Act. And with that, I try to spread the awareness of mental health and mainly depression, anxiety, suicide, things like that. So this is not exactly how I intended to start this, but this is where we're going to start because I felt led tonight to do it. It's like currently 1:30 in the morning, but I don't sleep very well anyway, so here we go. I just want you to know I'm going to kind of share a lot about this throughout the different videos, but I just want to kind of share with you one of my whys. I posted a short little video about it on my TikTok, Stephanie the Sunshine Act, and I'll leave that linked in the description. But this will be a more like in detailed story about it. So I have been advocating for mental health and not ending your life for at least 15 years now. But it all kind of started, my passion for it grew um, in 2011 when I lost um, the second person um, in my life that was close to me that chose to end their life. And this person was someone that he was amazing, and he had a heart of gold. Um, and there was a point in my life that I thought every single day about ending my life. I harmed myself in ways, and the boyfriend I had at the time was a jerk. And when he found out about it, he called my mom, told her to come pick up her trash, and um, that was a very, very low point in my life. And so up until then, my parents didn't know anything about it. I'm sure that they knew that I wasn't the happiest kid because I had a boyfriend that was not nice at all. Um, there was a lot of um, things going on that I was not. You have to be careful how you word things. It's not a good situation. I'll just say that. So, and my brother was in the Marines still, and he was actually overseas. So I didn't go home and tell my parents like, "Oh, I got boyfriend problems. I'm so sad." While my brother's literally like fighting for our country and literally could pass, you know, at any moment. So I wasn't going to go home and tell my parents that I was thinking of ending my life or things like that. And we had lost one of my really close cousins to that. So I know that they would have taken it seriously and understood and, tried to help me. But I wasn't going to put that on them with what they were dealing with because, my brother is my mama's baby, even though I'm the youngest. My brother's my mama's baby. And he was in a war. So I wasn't going to go home and tell my parents, that I got boyfriend problems and friend problems. And so I kept it to myself. And that burden just really got way too heavy for me to carry alone. So then, whenever my parents did find out about the things that I was going through and the things that I was dealing with, my mom actually had called um, this guy, one of my reasons, and let him know what was going on. And at this point, we were no longer dating, and we had kind of gone our separate ways, but we had always remained really good friends because we always still had a love for each other. But it got to a point of we broke up because we loved each other. We got into different things, and we broke up because we loved each other, which is the hardest breakup to do when you're not breaking up because you're fighting or anything like that. You're breaking up because you love each other. And so when my mom called him, he really stepped up and he was there for me. And, he was there for me in ways that I could not have imagined. He would send me the stupidest jokes just to make me laugh. He would come up with the craziest stories, just making up stuff off the top of his head. And he checked on me. He let me tell him the real hard and deep stuff. And he would come back with the craziest advice. Sometimes I just had to tell him, like, dude, you're crazy. I'm not going to do that. But it worked because it distracted me and I'm still alive. So then we had ended up making this pact that no matter where we were in life, even if we got to a point of where, for whatever reason, we hated each other, which we both knew that that was never going to happen. But we made a pact that no matter where we were in life, who we were dating, if we were married, if we were on the other side of the world, it didn't matter. That if either one of us were thinking about ending our lives for whatever reason, it didn't matter, that we could call on each other and we would be there for each other, if nothing more than just to be a phone call and listen. And here comes the hard part. So there was one night in 2011 that he called me, and it was kind of strange for him to just call without, but usually before he would call, he would text me and ask if I was busy. Then he would call. But most of the time we would just text. And this particular night, he called and asked me, we kind of chit-chatted a little bit, but then he asked if I could come over. And I had to tell him no, because I was camping with my family and I drove a truck at the time, and the back of my truck had a lot of our boxes of like our food and camping stuff in it. So it wasn't easy for me to just leave. Plus, like, my family, we were all hanging out. And so I'd asked him, like, is everything okay? And he said, yeah, he just wanted to hang out. So I had to tell him no. And I told him the next day we could hang out. And he said, that's fine, because the next morning we were leaving. And he said, that's fine. We can hang out tomorrow. That sounds good to me. Whenever you're available, I'll make sure I'm available. And so I asked him again, like, are you sure everything's fine? Because I can come if you need me. And he said, no, it's fine. It's fine. Hang out with your family. I'm good. I promise. Okay. And then a little bit later, I try to do this without crying. It never gets easier. But a little while later, after our phone call, I get a text from him that says, I just want you to know I'm sorry. Now, he said sorry for so many things that sometimes it was annoying. I had to tell him, like, dude, you're fine. Stop saying sorry. That's just the man that he was. And so when he said, I'm sorry, I was like, dude, for what? And he said, just think about it and you'll see. And that really confused me, because I was like trying to think really hard, like, what has our last conversations been, and like what could he possibly say sorry for? So I kind of wrapped it up to him saying sorry for interrupting, my camping with my family. But that's not why he was saying sorry. He was saying sorry because after that, he ended his life. And from what I remember, he had tried to reach out to more than just me, but that didn't stop me from feeling so much guilt for his little girl that was going to live without a dad, and guilt for his parents that were going to lose their son and their brother, their cousin. I loved his family so much. They were a big part of my life when I was younger. Me and him dated. And so I felt such an amount of guilt. I felt as if I did it myself to him. And so for a long time, for several years after that, I walked around just consumed with guilt. It was so heavy that it was all I could think about. It was all I could focus on. And it was controlling my life, controlling my relationships with my friends, and I'm sure my family too. And I just got to a point one day, a lot of times I go to my place of peace, my place of where I talk to God, where I go and sit when things are really bad in my life. I sit there when things are good too, but where I go when things are bad in my life is to the water. I live by the lake, so I go to the water. And that night I went, the dam used to have a little lookout gazebo thing. And when the water would come out, it sounded like the beach. And we're, not close. We were kind of close to the beach, but the beach isn't in my town. So if you go, just go and sit and close my eyes. I would sit up on the rails and lean back on the little post things that went up to the ceiling. And I would just close my eyes and just wish that I could take his place. Because I didn't have kids to leave behind. Of course, I had a family to leave behind, but I would just wish that I could take his place, or that I could bring him back, or that I would just cry out and say sorry to his family, not to them, because I couldn't have that conversation because I didn't want to. I couldn't live with if the conversation went bad and they hated me. I couldn't live with that, so I didn't do it. And it was that night that I was sitting there and I just was praying to God, crying out and saying, like, God, I can't do this. I can't live like this. I can't. You got to take this guilt from me. You got to make it better. You got to help me forgive myself for the guilt. And I still struggle with the guilt at times, but it's not like it used to be, because it was that night that something in my head just shifted, and I realized the only way that I was going to heal from that was to try to help somebody else. And after my cousin ended his life, I kind of started then. It opened my eyes to it, and then, when I saw somebody struggling at school or at work or anything like that, I always tried to be someone that someone could talk to. But after the second one died, um, I just realized that the only way I was going to heal was to try to save somebody else. And it does not make up for it in any way. But what it does is it just heals my heart when I know that I saved somebody else from taking that step, because I know without the shadow of a doubt that the ones I have lost that have ended their own life, they would take it back in an instant if they could. I know that without a doubt, if they knew the pain that it caused everybody around them, they would take it back. But that's not a choice. You can't do that. And so the only way I could heal from that guilt that I had was to try to help others. Um, so the people that know me, like in my town or whatever, I started making sunshine cards where I put like an inspirational quote, and I put the number to the crisis text line. Um, and I leave them everywhere I go, just in hopes of finding one person that is having a hard day, and they find that card and they see it and they just think, you know, it's the one thing that changed their mind. Because I've been there, and if I would have found just one something randomly at the gas station, at a restaurant, in the bathroom, that just said something of, you're doing okay, don't give up, this is your sign, don't end your life, it would have made such an impact on me. So I started doing that for other people. And sometimes I don't know if they get just thrown away, and if they do, that's okay, because I have gotten messages from people that have said that the card stopped them from doing it. And I've had, just from the videos that I make, that I started making on TikTok, and I make posts on Facebook all the time. I've helped people um, just privately, and I'm not a counselor. I'm not anything certified. I've been thinking about doing it, but I just do it from my heart, and I go from my experience. And if it's a situation where they need professional help, I definitely guide them to that. But for everybody that has ever told me that something that I did stopped you from ending your life, from hurting yourself, or helped your depression, or helped your anxiety, you might not think that telling me means a whole lot, but I want you to know that if anybody in your life has done that for you, tell them. Because the ones that have told me, it heals my heart so much more than you could ever guess, so much more than you would ever know. And at times it has saved my life. Um, it means so much to me that I can take my pain and my experiences and my losses and save somebody else because of what I've been through. I try my hardest to take everything that I've gone through in life and make something good out of it, make something joyful and happy about it. And saving somebody's life from going down that incredibly dark and lonely path, that beats anything in the whole world. It is the best feeling that you can have. So just thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart for anybody that has ever let me know that something of my story, or something of that I have done or said to you, has helped you. It means the absolute world to me. And if you are struggling with depression, self-harm, wanting to end your life, I want you to know that there is help. There is hope. No matter what the situation is, you can get help. I will link some hotlines down below. I am always available to talk to. Find somebody that you trust. Find anybody to talk to, whether it's a professional or someone that you know, or just a stranger that posts something on Facebook that you resonate with, that you can send them a message and they, kind of talk back with you. Sometimes all it takes is getting it off your chest. But find someone to talk to, because your life is worth it. This life, no matter how crazy it is in the world right now, but it's worth living. I promise you. Just try your best to find the good in the world, because it's out there. Don't give up. Just keep looking for the joy. You got this. I'm going to be posting much more videos. I got to figure out this whole YouTube stuff, but I'm going to figure out like the days to post things and whatnot. And if you have any suggestions, I'm totally open to it. So bear with me as I figure it all out. I'm just going to roll with it and make mistakes along the way and learn from them, because this message is not a message that can wait. So many people need it. So if you would, please subscribe, like, all the YouTube-y things you're supposed to say. Just do them for me and help me out. Thank you. And if you know somebody that needs to hear this message, definitely share that with them. And if you're having problems sharing it with them, just leave a comment on there and I will help you get it shared, because this message has to get out in the world. Thank you. Till next time. Bye.